This is John D'Agostino with D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm, and I'm proud to be a sponsor and partner of WABC Radio and Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel. God bless America.
I'm attorney Jenna D'Agostino, continuing the legacy my father, John D'Agostino, started 35 years ago.
I grew up on these New York and New Jersey streets. They shaped me. I'm attorney John D'Agostino from D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm.
Call our team first.
888-24-LAW-24. 888-24-LAW-24. D'Agostino Law Bite Back.
The cold winter weather is coming, and the team at Peerless Boilers, they're ready to help you prepare for this season. It's time to make sure your home is nice and warm for the cold weather. Save loads of money on your fuel bill. Do it now before it's too late and you've got a mess on your hands. Start thinking about replacing your old beast of a boiler with a new high-efficiency Peerless Boiler. Go to peerlessboilers.com, pop in your zip code, and you'll find a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers, and proud sponsor of Sid and Friends in the Morning, live from Israel.
Entertaining and informative.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
Blue moon, I saw you. So soon you'll take me up in your arms. Too late to beg you or cancel it, though I know it must be the killing time. Unwillingly mine. Fate up against your will. Through the thick and thin, he will wait until you give yourself to him.
Echo and the Bunnymen, Killing Time. Time about 8 o'clock. Go to Israel now. This is, you guys know this already, one of my favorite people in the whole world. I really mean that. That's not hyperbole. That's true. He was Donald Trump's ambassador to Israel. Got a new book out, One Jewish State. It's an amazing book. Part of a political group that I become a delegate for in his honor, David Friedman, as we look to get into the World Zionist Congress coming up next spring. This is a wonderful guy out of Nassau County, but now in Israel for Yom Kippur, and I guess Sukkot as well. My dear friend David Friedman. Mr. Ambassador, good morning. Or you all good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm great. I just got off a camel ride with my kids and grandchildren. Some of them are visiting in the Judean desert, and yeah, I'm all. Fortunately, it's a radio show, not a TV show. I don't look that great, but it was a great camel ride.
I'm sure you look great. That sounds special. When you texted me yesterday about the grandkids, you said I'm going to be out there. Hopefully, the phone works. I couldn't help but think what a wonderful day you would have, and I'm glad you are having a wonderful day. You know, a lot of people keep asking me the same question, David, and that is, what is Bibi waiting for now? You know, of course, that I finally met him, broke the fast with him, thanks to your dear friend Simon Fallick on Saturday night. It was wonderful. He was great to me, Bibi. He loved me. But they keep asking me, what is he waiting for since Iran attacked a couple of weeks ago? And I thought maybe he was listening to Biden, but Fox News just ran a report moments ago that said Netanyahu is not waiting for approval for Biden. It's something else. What do you think it is?
Well, look, I'm not sure where Fox is sourcing this from. I think that he's. I actually think the pressure from America on him is pretty great. Now, look, the Washington Post ran a piece yesterday that basically said, Israel's not going to attack the oil fields and they're not going to attack the nuclear sites. So, and the sources there were two senior American officials. So to me, it seems to me that America is sabotaging Israel's efforts to respond because, look, a lot of time has gone by. They're apparently not going after the prime assets. Donald Trump, to his credit, got up more than a week ago and said that Biden's advice not to go after the nuclear facilities was about the dumbest idea, given how threatening those facilities are. So I still think there's a lot of pressure from Biden and Harris
So do I.
not to move forward. I think their concern is very simple. He attacks the oil fields. He attacks, something significant, which would be, frankly, in the long run, would be great for America and great for Israel, great for the free world. But in the short run, the next 2-3 weeks, you get gas up another 50 cents to $1 a gallon, and everyone's going to blame Biden. He's going to lose the election. I think that's how they're calibrating all of this thing. Don't do anything that causes us to see a spike in the price of gas. I think they're putting tremendous pressure on Israel, and I don't know what he's waiting for. Look, my guess at this point is, what he's done is he's made a deal with Biden where Biden said, Biden's giving him free rein to just, do whatever he can to destroy Hezbollah, which is a good in itself, in exchange for which he's holding back on Iran. That's where I see this, based upon the type of kinetic activity that's going on in northern Israel and in Lebanon versus the absence of much going on at all in Iran. I think that's where he is. But look, I'm not in the room, Sid, so all I can do is speculate right now.
Yeah, but you're one of the smartest people I know, and whether you're serving as Trump's ambassador or Secretary of State, you've got great instincts, and I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. Alan Dershowitz intimated the same thing on this show yesterday, that he believes that there's some type of deal with Biden, and I got to tell you, it disappoints me. I know Israel needs the United States, and we just agreed to send them a whole bunch of weapons and all that. That's all terrific. But for the most part, this 12th to 13th month period, the United States has been anything but a friend to Israel. And Bibi, from the government to the media, and I would just like to see Bibi, and I told him this, do what he has to do. But I guess in the end, Bibi and Israel really does need the United States, right? Bottom line.
Look, they certainly need the United States if they're going to go after Iran in a serious way, because it's not a quick in and out. I mean, it's a major campaign. It requires some very, very sophisticated weapons and missile defense systems and bunker buster bombs. Israel doesn't have everything it needs to go after Iran fully. I mean, they could make Iran miserable, but to really wipe out their entire nuclear system, they need. But America should be helping, because this is the most important national security matter for America as well. A nuclear Iran will cause a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. Some of the worst countries in the world who have plenty of money will start getting nukes, and it's gonna put the entire world at risk. So the U.S. should be working with Israel on this. Unfortunately, they're not. I think it's entirely political. But you're right about when Bibi has rejected American advice. He's done great things for his country, and he's gotten much support from his country. The biggest example is Rafah, right? He was told not to go into Rafah. Now he did anyway. He did so with the minimal loss of civilian life. When he did that, he freed 6 hostages, and he also uncovered the smuggling routes between Egypt and Hamas that were keeping Hamas armed. Yeah. So when he rejects American advice, it's usually good for Israel, and his people appreciate it. Bibi's, if you go back in history and you think about some of the great leaders in Israel, like Yitzhak Rabin or Shimon Peres, Yitzhak Rabin or Moshe Dayan. These are great generals. They were great leaders, but there were times when things got so intense, they had nervous breakdowns. I mean, it's been documented they had nervous breakdowns. Bibi's like a rock. I mean, Bibi has navigated this ship. Whatever you want to complain about how we got here in the first place, but since this has happened, this guy's been a rock. An absolute rock in terms of, navigating the ship and taking on Hamas and taking on Hezbollah and taking on Iran, taking on Islamic Jihad in the West Bank, taking on the Houthis. He has fought a war on 7 fronts, and even within his own country, people protesting, they're complaining, they're second guessing him, they're saying you're not doing enough for the hostages, and he's just kind of kept his eye on the ball, steered the ship, and Israel is, frankly, it's a safer place today than it was on October 6th. So he deserves a lot of credit. He's
a hero. I love him. And it's disgraceful what the Israelis put him through. Fly drones over his friends' houses. God forbid Bibi smokes a cigar and they go, this is why Hersh Goldberg is dead. Are you kidding me? You idiots? Are you effing kidding me? This man's a hero. He's a tremendous man. I went with his wife, Sarah, lovely lady, to the wall last Thursday night, right before Yom Kippur, 100,000 Israelis. And they're like, oh, you must be a millionaire. You must be giving the Netanyahu's money. These are Jews. Yeah, right. These are Jews. It's just disgraceful. But look, help is on the way. I did my show last Monday, David, from Sderot on the actual October 7th anniversary. And we had to run into a bomb shelter. That community, was ravaged. They burned down the police station. They killed a lot of folks. And Donald Trump called in that day. October 7th, last Monday, he was on with me for 30 minutes. 30 minutes on October 7th. You know why? Because he loves the Jews and he understands the importance of that date.
When you think about, and that's a great reference point, because look at Biden on October 7th. Look at, Biden had this very, very modest ceremony with a rabbi and his wife. Harris, tried her best to plant a pomegranate tree at the Naval Observatory. She had a hard time getting the shovel into the dirt. What did Trump do? He spent 25 minutes with you. He visited the grave of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, one of the most revered religious leaders of the 20th century. Then he gets on a plane and heavy thunderstorms and rain. I mean, all the remnants of Helene and Milton were heading towards Florida. He gets on a plane anyway. I remember he was thinking of not coming. He said, "No, I'm going to come anyway." He gets on a plane, flies to Miami, and he delivers an absolutely pitch perfect, memorial speech and remembrance speech on October 7th. In Miami to a very, very appreciative audience.
And by the way, folks, you should know that David Friedman was with Donald Trump that day, as was another guy I've grown to love, Rabbi Kaplan.
Yes. We were there with him. But I'm just saying, look at what he put himself through on October 7th to show solidarity with the nation of Israel and the Jewish community compared to his running mate. I mean, it's just night and day. And it really tells you a lot about how they, what's in their hearts.
What do you think, Dave? I mean, look, you, again, this is Trump's ambassador, but more importantly, I love this guy, my best friend, David Friedman. And I know that if Trump wins, you're back, right? I don't know if it's going to be the same role, secretary, you're back. So obviously you want him to win.
It's whatever he decides.
Right, but you're going to be back. You're such a valuable, smart guy. You'll be back. But, and I know that you're not going to say he's going to lose, because if it gets back to him, he'll be mad at you. But how do you feel this morning, honestly, about 20 days away from the election? Do you feel real good?
I feel real good, but I try to suppress the feeling because, at least in my life, that's all when I've always, when I've been overconfident, I've always paid the price, and so we can't be overconfident. I'm feeling really, really good. Look, he's got a few hidden points in the polls. He's always had 2 or 3 points, that aren't accounted for in most polls. So if he's tied, it means he's ahead by 2-3 points. And right now, even the left-wing media has him tied, or slightly ahead in most of the swing states, or even in the national polls. The betting, not that I'm not a bettor, I'm not a gambler, but you can go on an app and look at the gambling sites, and they have him, I think, 55-45. Everything's moving in the right direction. Primarily, Sid, it's not because no one's learning anything more about Donald Trump. He's the most transparent human being in the world, most famous person in the world, right? And he ran the country for 4 years, and everybody remembers those 4 years, and by and large, they were pretty good years. So there's nothing to learn much more about Donald Trump, but they're learning more about Kamala Harris, and the more they learn, they're seeing that she's just not up to the job. I mean, this is somebody who doesn't have the competence or the mental acuity or the strategic ability, the ability to think on her feet. I mean, she just doesn't have the skills to be president. And so, it's as she becomes more known, it actually hurts her more than it helps her. So I'm feeling very good. But you know what? I call him. I call Donald Trump, Mariano. He's a closer. He's a closer. He's going to leave everything on the field. He's going to run this campaign until the last possible second, and he'd run longer if he was given more time. He's going to leave everything on the field. He's going to, I don't want to overuse these cliches, but he is not going to take anything for granted. He's just going to push this thing until the last minute, and I'm feeling really good about his chances.
So am I. About 3 or 4 more minutes. The great ambassador David Friedman live in Israel this morning, folks. I'll tell you this, anecdotal, maybe, but I spoke to a lot of Israelis, and there was one government official, David, in Judea and Samaria, which you and I care about a lot, right? I mean, one Jewish state, and our whole political move is all about, making sure Judea and Samaria is a part of Israel and remains, I should say, is run by the Jews. So they came to me and they said, I got to tell you, if you think it's important for Trump to win for Queens, where you live, it's almost equally as important for Trump to win right here in Israel. Is that an exaggeration or accurate?
So look, I've been here a week. You know, I've been all over the place, just like you were all over the place. People know me here. You know, I'm pretty well known because of my 4 years here as ambassador. I'm getting mobbed by people. All they want to know is Trump going to win. Tell them we love him. Tell them we're thinking about him. I mean, I would say if he doesn't have 80% of the popular vote here, I'd be shocked. I mean, people really remember him. They love him. They know everything that he's done for the Jewish state, for Israel. They have great confidence in him. They like his style. They think he's the kind of person who can stand up to ruthless dictators in the Middle East. I mean, he's got all the tools to really, frankly, straighten out a lot of serious problems here very quickly. And not just in the Middle East. I think he has the capacity to resolve conflicts in Ukraine, with Russia, to just make this world so much safer, so much more quickly, because he's strong and he's strategic and he knows how to negotiate with people, and people just want him back. And it's overwhelming support here in Israel. I feel it every day. I can't walk down the street. You know, I can't sit in a restaurant. My family's they're getting sick of me already. I'm sitting with them in a restaurant, and people are walking around, and everybody's taking selfies and like. Of course. I got to wash my hands every 10 minutes because my hands people with sweaty palms are shaking my hand. I got to go wash my hands and be in the bathroom. But you know what? These people love Trump. They really do.
They love you, too. Well, they do love Trump, but they love you, and they should love both of you guys. Abraham Accords, folks. Trump, Jared Kushner, David Friedman. So on the way out, I posted something that you texted me from Israel. Now, Donald Trump is one animal. President Bougie Herzog, he's another animal, completely. But yet, you sat next to Herzog in shul, and what did he tell you?
On Yom Kippur. Yeah. What did he tell me? I forget. Tell me. What did he remind me? I'm both jet lagged. So I sat with him. Oh, he told me. Well, first of all, I remember. The one thing he told me is, who is this guy, Sid Rosenberg? That's what he said to me. He said, this guy is everywhere. All I'm hearing from everybody in Israel is Sid Rosenberg. He said, I met this guy for a few minutes. Who is he? And I said, who is he? He's got the #1 radio show in the world. And he goes, he seems like a good guy. He seems like he likes us. I said, you'll never get a better friend. You'll never get a better friend. I mean, I sat with him for 8 hours on Yom Kippur in shul, in synagogue, you know. That's awesome. But, yeah, that's what he asked me. Yeah, he was very interested in you. And the more I explained, the more he thought it was hysterical. He was great. He was really happy to hear. Yeah.
That was one of the highlights of my trip. I mean, the highlight obviously was Simon and Bibi on Saturday, but sitting with Herzog in his office Thursday night, 2 nights before Yom Kippur was great. Well, listen, you enjoy your kids, enjoy your grandchildren, enjoy that beautiful country. I want everybody to buy David Friedman's book. The book got to be doing great, One Jewish State, yes?
Yeah, it's doing great. Thank God, it's doing great. Thanks.
Okay, great. We'll go out there and buy David Friedman's book, and you and I will talk again and see each other very, very soon. David, happy Sukkot. I love you.
Thanks. Love you too, Sid. Be well.
You too. That's the great ambassador, Donald Trump's ambassador to Israel. Just a terrific guy. And if God is good to us, he'll be back serving this country. My friend David Friedman.
The Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation is a not-for-profit organization whose mission is to utilize lessons from the Holocaust to fight hatred and bigotry in all forms through educational programs and provide direct humanitarian assistance to victims of mass atrocities and genocide. Your support helps ensure AJC's vital work to fight anti-Semitism and all forms of hatred through education. They use the lessons of the Holocaust to honor the past and transform the future for generations to come. For all the details and to support the Auschwitz Jewish Center Foundation, visit ajcfus.org. That's ajcfus.org.